Alright, so hi everyone. Today I'll be going through the Collatz sequence project and then some. So let's start with a quick overview of what the Collatz sequence is. So the sequence is a series of numbers where you take any positive integer n and then you apply the following rules, which is if n is even, you divide it by 2, and then if n is odd, you multiply it by 3, and then you add 1. So then we repeat this process until you eventually reach 1. So the goal of the program is to determine which number, less than or equal to the user's input, produces the longest sequence of steps to reach 1. So then here is just like an example of what one of the outputs should supposed to be. And then we can go to our code right now. And then, so I did follow Professor Solis's video on how to set up. And then he basically talks about how it is possible to break the code into different sections or parts, or what he calls it as like a bird's eye view, which is exactly what I did because it's easier to follow him and then basically set up your code and then work off of him. So we first did a bunch of declarations. So in our declarations we have number of terms, user number, max number of terms, and then number with longest chain. So that'll be most of the declarations. And then after we ask the user input an integer that's 100 or less, so that will be right here, enter an integer 100 or less, and then you determine which class term has the longest sequence of numbers. So that would be all our code right here. This will tell us if the number is even or if the number is odd, and then how to increment it. And then so once we know which number produces the longest sequence, we rebuild that specific sequence, and then we store it in a linked list. So it would be here. We create a linked list that will store all the terms, the longest class sequence as discovered above. And then after building lists, we traverse and print each number in the sequence, which will be right here. Traverse the linked list to display its contents. And then finally, we clean up the memory by going through the linked list again and deleting each node. This is important for preventing memory leaks. And then now we can actually test our code. So then I believe they inputted 10. So then when they ask for user input, enter an integer 100 or less, we could put 10, and that'll give us number of 9 produces the longest class sequence of 20 terms. Here are those terms: 9, 28, 14, 7, 22, 11, and then all the way down to 1. And then if we go to it, 9, 28, 14, 7, 22, 11, going all the way down to 1. And then we could also test this with different other numbers, because that would be it. Since they gave us an even number, we can do it with a odd number now. So let's do 7. So if we do 7, the number 7 produces the longest class sequence of 17 terms. And then here are those terms: 7, 22, 11, 34, 17, 52, all the way down to 1. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, overall this project was pretty easy, as Professor Solis basically gave us the structure, and then we basically had to follow off of him. And yeah, that was it. Thank you.